Can you share any information on how you are leveraging and deploying advanced analytics such as machine learning and AI?
Yeah, machine learning and AI. I have to tell you a funny story here, though. I've had clients like in the past life, right? I've had senior leaders come to me and say, Abhishek, you know what? I want to do an AI project. That's the problem statement. I want to do an AI project. And I'm like, you know what? That is not a problem statement. You do not do an AI or ML project. But like such has been the press around this that now you just like, I think leaders feel pressurized that they need to have an AI ML use case in their portfolio. But the way I think about it is very simply through a problem lens, right? I'll give you an example, right? Going from point A to point B, right? Say I want to go from New York to Boston, right? Dial back 200 years, right? That was a problem which was fuzzy and very unclear to human beings. We didn't know what to do. Like, how do we traverse there, right? Something that was a little unknown. We knew maybe we have to go east because the sun rises in the east, and we kind of figured out and meandered and we'll get there, right? Stumbled through our way. Then we kind of as we did that more and more, we realized that, okay, there can be an algorithm. We can take there's a roadways were built, there were trains built, and you said, okay, now let me follow that, right? And then Google Maps happened and Apple Maps happened. And we said, you know what, we'll just systematize the whole thing. We know exactly how to go from point A to point B. It's all mapped out. And when I think about AI ML, right, for me, the power of that is for problems which are in that stage where I don't know enough about it. I've got information. I know sun rises in the east. Boston's probably to the north. There are rivers in between that I need to cross, but I don't exactly know how they all fit together. And AI ML is a great technique to algorithmify that heuristic knowledge that I have. So that would be kind of where I'd start to use a lot of AI and machine learning. But then there are problems where I have mapped it out. I know exactly, I've got adjusters or underwriters working for the past so many years underwriting policies. So I know that there is a human judgment involved. I know what information they look at. I can use AI to then encapsulate that natural intelligence into a code block and say, you know what, let me systematize this learning, which my underwriters or my actuarials or my claims operators have developed over a period of time.
Right.
And that's how we've used AI ML, right? So now auto underwriting is a great example. Fraud, waste, abuse identification is another great example. Agency hiring, right? How do we hire, train, and deploy agents and maximize their productivity? These are all great examples which traditionally, if you think about it, have been more human-led. Now there's a lot of heuristics involved. There's a lot of, now you ask me how I do it. I don't know how I do it, but I do it and I do it pretty well, right? That's what AI ML kind of helps you really box in and make it more understandable. And those are some of the powerful use cases that we've seen bring a lot of value here. Another example I would say is on the pharma side, right? When I was in consulting around physician targeting and Salesforce effectiveness, right? Where which rep goes and calls to which doctor at what time based on what products, right? A lot of that AI ML can play a great role in making that very personalized, right? And if you think back 10 years when I started a lot of work in the pharma space, the typical segmentation was quintiles and deciles based on values, right? So you take all your physician universe, you decile them, and you go, okay, the top decile gets the most number of calls. But you can now get to an N of one segmentation because we know so much about the physicians. And you know which reps kind of marry up most effectively with which types of physicians. You can actually go and create call plans that are very tailored to what the physician or the hospital chain or the medical professional needs, and you can make your agents that much more effective, right? With the same investment going that much further in trying to be effective. So that's how we kind of think about AI ML, right? It has to be thought about in context of the problem that you're looking to solve and how well or not so well you understand that problem space. and each has its own applications. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Very good. You touched on this earlier. What has been the biggest challenge that you've encountered on your transformation journey? Is it the people, process, or technology?
Yeah, I think it's probably all of the three. But if you were to ask me for the biggest one, I think that'll definitely be the people side of things, right? And it's because as much as we may think that we are, say, trying to build a technology or a data analytics solution, what you're really trying to do at the end of the day is going to impact an individual or a group of individuals. And it's really important that whether it's your customer, your business partner, or for that matter, your own team, you're able to engage with them and help them understand what's in it for them, right? What types of changes they would start to see as you basically deploy a particular solution in the market. And then to do that, right, one of the things that I think has worked well for me is any solution that we are looking to put out there, before we actually even start developing it, I try to build what I call like as a stakeholder map, right, or like my customer map. And you want to understand who are the players who are going to be involved, right? So for example, if you're building an underwriting solution, right, you've got to have your product team, your pricing team, your actuarials, your sales guys who are eventually going to take that output and work with, and then eventually your customers, right, how they are going to see something change as that solution comes into the market. So having that map built out and then understand that we need to have conversations and communications with each one of those partners through that process of the solution development and deployment also becomes key, because if that doesn't happen, I think your adoption suffers in a big way, and that's why we see headlines like 85% of AI ML initiatives fail to drive change or fail at the last mile, right? Is because I think we get so immersed because we're so passionate about the technology and the data and the math behind things that we tend to forget that, at the end of the day, it's people who are going to use it, and you need to make them feel involved and ingrained in that transformation or that solution development journey. So that I think for me has been the biggest challenge, and I'll say it's also been the biggest reward, right? When you get it right, there's nothing better than that. When you see you're not the only champion trying to drive an agenda or a capability, but there are partners who are actually raising their hand and saying, this thing works and I want to use it. So you get that right. I think the process and the technology pretty much follow it. I think those are much easier to kind of get right if you have the people side of the house or the equation kind of taken care of.